Hello YouTube land, Tyconderus here doing another action figure review, and today we're having a look at yet another of Super 7's figure lines. Now this isn't G.I. Joe, obviously, because of the logo on the big box in front of you. This is a Toxic Crusaders toy and, well, figure. And if you're not familiar with Toxic Crusaders, you may be, depending on your age, you may be more familiar with the character of the Toxic Avenger. So a little brief bit of history as I'll just spin the box around so you can have a look at it. Basically, this toy line was based on an R-rated movie, just like how Rambo got a movie cartoon line, Conan got a cartoon line, RoboCop had a cartoon line. All these were based on R-rated movies, and for some reason some TV executives thought, hey, let's make these things for kids. So thus Toxic Crusaders was born, and this was based on, and it was reasonably an R-rated movie called The Toxic Avenger, where a weedy nerdy guy basically gets dumped into toxic waste and becomes Toxie, a champion of, champion of justice, I suppose, mopping up bad guys. And the character this is from the cartoon is the Radiation Ranger. So obviously he is no longer seated in his box, but this is the inner workings of the box. You have the same style slip box cover that you have with a lot of the Super 7 stuff. And then instead of a big bio or images from the cartoon, you just have, warning, this package contains Radiation Ranger, nuclear, sinister, stormtrooping the soldier.
In moments, my Radiation Rangers will have spread the Magoop 82 over the whole potato patch, setting my plan into full swing.
So these were the faceless, nameless henchmen of the evil bad guy called Dr. Killamoff, a aptly named bad guy. I do love the neonish green with the gradient or the fade into the blue on the box. It is quite nice done. And then just you have legally stuff on the bottom of the box. But moving that aside, actually what I'm going to do, I'm just going to bring in the G.I. Joe box just so you can see it's the same kind of slip style cover, except the box is way bigger because it's a more chunky cartoon based figure. So this toy line was very similar to the Turtles toy line. In fact, the scaling was very similar. And the original toy line that these are based on, which I only have one figure of, I don't have him to hand because they haven't done a figure for him. And I do hope they do get around to doing a figure for him if they do a Wave 2. This is part of Wave 1. There's 3 figures in Wave 1. There is the Radiation Rangers, which are the bad guys. And there's 2 heroes. You get Toxie himself, which is the 3rd version of Toxie they have released. His original ones were based on his movie appearances and promotional material. I'm just going to pull off the backpack as well, just so you can see how he comes. And any of the stuff that are kind of loose. Oh yes, Toxie. So there's a couple of versions of Toxie, who is the main hero. There's a character called Junkyard, who is one of the good guy characters, I think he's a good guy. I haven't seen much of the cartoon. I only seen the original movies, or at least one of the original movies. There is 3 or 4 of them, and at the time of this recording there is apparently either a new movie out. I've been trying to figure out if it's been released or it hasn't been released yet, but it is due out, and it is coming out with Peter Dinklage playing Toxie. There's been trailers for it, so if you're watching this and you're kind of going, oh, there's a new one, go look up the trailers for it, because apparently there is either a new one released. It says Toxic Avenger 2023, but I don't think it's been released yet, so I think it's being pushed to this year, for 2024. So at the time of this recording, I don't think it's out. I could be wrong, because it says it's on Peacock, and we don't have that channel or that streaming service over here. So it could have been released as a direct streaming movie, but it may not have been released over here, because it is a kind of niche market movie. For the fans of those who remember that movie, it is a fairly obscure movie based on a guy who becomes a hero after being dumped into toxic waste. Saying that, as I said, Playmates did the original toy line for these guys. So they were in the kind of standard Turtles size. They even had vehicles. As I said, my own guy that I had is called Bonehead. He's the only one I had. I think I did I do a review from recently of the one that I picked up? I did pick up or re-buy an original one, and he's actually a really cool character. He's mostly glow-in-the-dark plastic. I think that was the reason why I went for him originally, because this guy does come with some glow-in-the-dark parts. The Toxic figure that I have, which I have not done a review for, I don't think, also has he's actually interesting because he has glow-in-the-dark parts and sun UV transitioning parts. So depending on how you use him, you can either have him glowing in the dark, or he has like radiation burns on him when you put him in sunlight. So he's kind of a double action feature. But getting off tilt, we are going to have a look at this guy. So we are going to run through his accessories. Now, I'm going to try and see if I can get a video of these things glowing. So if I can, I might do a bit of editing. Shock horror, I generally don't do editing. I'm going to see if I can charge these things up and have them glowing. These are mines. Or some sort of like demolition pack that they come with. They have 2 of these. They actually plug onto the backpacks. He comes with his gun or laser rifle. They fire them like lasers.
It's a Toxic Crusaders! Stop him!
But these guys are literally nameless goons. He is a pretty cool figure. Now, I believe the original figure, I don't think the backpack was separate. I think it was molded onto them. But this one has a removable backpack, and just like the Bat from the G.I. Joe line, it plugs in, and then there's 2 extra places for putting the hoses. You got these pegs on the side, and there's peg holes on the back of the mines, so you can store those on here. He can literally store all his gear depending on which way which arm you have on him.
Hey, what happened?
Yeah, what happened?
The mashed potatoes! They must have clogged up the intake vents on his life support system. He's overheating!
Oh, yeah!
He does come with this half-barrel shield, which is really cool. It's done on a bright neon pink with neon green sludge on it and battle damage. And you have hazard stripes and the radiation symbol on them. Again, just like with Turtles, a lot of this were brightly colored 90s neon style coloring, because that was when these were released. So as you can see, it has a bright, almost neonish yellow hazard suit on. He has neon paint apps on. He has bright neon orange for the padding. Not so much neon blue for the blue, but it is a nice kind of alternate color, or nice color to offset the yellow. And his backpack has this arch on it, so it fits. Now, when I first got this guy, it was a bit tricky to get this in, but over time you just have to kind of wedge it in, and it fits in to his back. You just have to make sure it plugs all the way down and get them all the way set in. He even has the radiation symbol on his backpack and on his shoulders, which is quite nicely done. So he does have these hoses that attach to the piping. Well, one of them attaches to the existing piping, the other one goes into the backpack itself. He does have an extra piece down here. Just be wary that you can take that out. So if you are moving the head, it shouldn't overstretch it too much, but just be careful when moving the head, because he does have those hoses attached. They're attached to the head as opposed to the backpack, so you just have to be careful. Like if you want to do some extreme poses, I would imagine best thing to do is just to unplug them, get the head into the position you want, and then plug these back in. That way you're not overstretching these cabling or piping when you're moving the figure around. But there is like I said, this one on the front, it's attached in the box. It's pre-attached, so but it does just plug out, just to avoid hopefully snappage or breaking later down the line. He does come with a plethora of little hands. So he comes with this large outstretched gripping hand, and those are designed for the mines. He comes with these at rest outstretched hands. He has a left and right, and they, unlike the G.I. Joe plugs, it only has like single point, where if only I have one of the G.I. Joe ones handy. I do not. If I'll just bring Destro in here, or not Destro, Red Jackal, who I was going to do a comparison of. I'm going to pop his hand out, I hope, without breaking it. There we go. If I bring in Destro, or the Red Jackal, you can see there's kind of a dual indent on those hands. Whereas there's only the one indent on the Toxic Avenger hand, or on the Radiation Rangers. So, bear with me a moment. I'm going to just leave him off the side here, and we'll bring him in again later on for comparison. He does come with a left-handed pistol hand, or sorry, right-handed pistol hand, sorry, my mistake, left and right. He comes with a right hand grip hand for the rifle. Now, it is a little tricky to get this thing in, so you have to do it on screen. There we go. So you have to kind of get this around the handle, or the grip, on the trigger area around the thumb. But once it's in, it's not too bad. It does stay in. He does come with two punching hands. So he comes with a left and right punch hands. In fact, I think the punch hands are the ones that are default in the box. And he comes with a left and right grip hand. So you have the left and right grip, which is on him, or the right grip is on him at the moment. Again, to get this around the handle on the back of this, it is worth heating this up, because it is very tough to get this around the grip of the shield. Now, I do believe the shield is supposed to go that way as opposed to that way. That's the way it looks. Let's see if I can get it on screen. There we go. And just rotate it around. You can have both on. So it does grip, both hands grip. What I did manage to do when I first got it, I heated up the hands a little bit just to give it a little bit more leeway. So he was a little bit tighter on the grip, but you can get him to hold all his gear. Oh, one other thing about the backpack. If I just take his hand off the gun, there is a hook on the back, and it is for his gun. It just holds on over here. I believe it's supposed to go that way. I don't think it goes up. I suppose you can put it that way as well with the hose, but I would be wary about the snapping over time, or with the handle. It looks better on the stock, so it just kind of fits through the gap on the stock, and it holds on that way. It's not the most securest of things, but it is there. So you can do that. And as I said, he does have those little detonation packs, or whatever you want to call them, mines. They look like C4 things. And you can, I do have the right hand in, just get it in. They do grab onto that pretty nicely. So you can do a kind of a throwing position and make it look like he's about to throw it as well. So let's do the rundown for the articulation. He does have the standard arm joints. Again, the backpack is a little loose on mine. He does rotate his arm all the way around. It is go out that much. There is a bicep swivel. There is a single jointed elbow with swivel. Again, with the wrist in, has a hinge on it. So depending which hand you have in fact, actually, I think all the hands have the same style hinge on it. So there's no difference. Unlike some of the G.I. Joe ones, which had the up-down for the hand instead of in-out. You have, it's all up-down. Head is on the ball joint. You get some range of movement on it. So it is a little bit hindered, as I said, by those pipes. But you can get some left to right. You could, in theory, turn it 360, but you'd have to undo all those pipes, because if you'd left them in, they would snap. He does have a waist swivel. Here's the thing that's interesting. It almost doesn't look like he has it, but there is actually an ab crunch on this guy. Not so much back because the backpack hinders this, but he does crunch forward a bit, which is nicely done. He can do splits that much. He can kick forward, kick back a bit. There is a thigh swivel, single jointed knee, which is just a 90-degree bend. Unlike some of the other figures in the other lines, there's no boot cut. The G.I. Joe guys had a boot cut, and I think the Turtles have boot cuts as well, I believe. But these guys don't have them. He does have there is a swivel in that single jointed knee as well, so he can swivel at the knee as well. And then there is a rocker ankle with peg holes. Now there is no base with these guys. So if I do I have something to hand? Hopefully this won't fall down. Oop. Let's try a DC base from the, will that fit or is it too loose? Nope, actually that's not too bad. So if you have one of the multiverse DC McFarlane DC bases, he will stand on that pretty reasonably well if you want him to stand on something. But other than that, he is a pretty good figure. So I picked this guy up on Big Bad Toy Store when they were having a bit of a sale on them. Again, I wish I could pick these guys up better. And I know people are like, oh, well, why do you wait till they're on sale to get them? Why don't you support the line? It's because where I live, I have to factor in shipping and import costs. And by the time you factor all that in, the figure is nearly twice the price that you pay retail in the States for, which really is a big bummer. I mean, if one of our local stores or local e-tailers, retailers, whichever way you want to put it, has this guy up on their site, they've had him for a little bit and he is around 80 euros, which is quite expensive for one figure. And all the figures in that particular line are between 60 and 80. And even on Big Bad Toy Store, I think they're normally were retailing for $50 and they reduced them down to 30, so that's why I grabbed them. It wasn't as cheap as the G.I. Joes I got. The G.I. Joe figures, some of them were around $10, so I just jumped on those. But I did love the look of this guy. I have a Toxie already, so I didn't want yet another Toxie, even though the cartoon version doesn't have the glow-in-the-dark feature and it is a bit more cartoon colors. I still like that one as well, but it comes with mostly the same accessories, so I didn't jump on the bandwagon to get him. But I will probably get Junkyard if I can get him, and I hope they do a wave 2 with a couple of more characters as well. So for a size comparison, I have him here. We will bring in the Red Jackal figure, and we'll bring in another Toon figure, which is Shredder, because I have him to hand, so you can see the size comparisons. You can see Jackal, Red Jackal, or aka Destro, if you want to just call him Destro, because he is essentially the same figure. These guys stand around 7 or 6.5, depending on which way you want to count it. Just grab them with the thing. The hoses do tend to be, oh, there goes Shredder. The hoses do tend to kind of bring it up to nearly the 7-inch mark, depending which way. You can see Shredder is around 7. This guy is around 6.5. If you count it just to the top of his little kind of helmet head, just around 7 or 6.5. And then Destro is a little bit taller than both of them, being nearly 7.25. So they are different in scalings, but overall, they don't look too bad together. Especially the Turtles and these guys will look pretty good together. So if you have some of the Ninja Turtles themselves, they wouldn't look too bad battling this guy. You could almost pass them off as a sort of foot henchman person type thing, or just another faction. But if you wanted to do diorama crossover picture or photography, you could get away with it that way. And I'm going to grab one other figure just because I have him handy and I was probably going to knock everything over, but we'll try it anyway. Come on. Just for another 7-inch-ish scale figure line. I can get him. Where is these? There we go. we have Merman from the Masterverse line. As you can see, I'm going to have to get him to stand a little bit better than how he is. Just bring him in as he's more cartoonish, cartoon based as well. But he looks doesn't look too bad with the Radiation Ranger. Now, as far as I know, in the original ones, as I was saying, these little detonation packs, or whatever you want to call them, the mines, they're actually glow in the dark. It did say on the bio card, I don't have the original, or on the packaging, the eyes are supposed to have like a glow as well. I'm not sure if they're supposed to glow in the dark, or it's just because of the visor thing on them to give it a radiation glow. You can see in the light, it does kind of pop with the light, but I'm not sure if they were also glow in the dark, because a lot of the gimmick on this particular line was glow in the dark plastic. Hence why the bonehead figure that I have has mostly glow in the dark for his head and arms, and his weapons were all glow in the dark as well. So that was a big kind of staple gimmick of the Toxic Avenger line. I'm not sure if the vehicles glowed in the dark. There was vehicles in the line, but I, again, don't have any of the originals, bar one figure, which I either have or have not done a review for yet, or have. We'll have to leave it at that. But there we go. I'm sure you have had enough of my waffling. But if you got to the end of the video, thanks very much for watching the whole lot. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And please share this video with friends if you think they'll like it, and help me grow my channel. I really want to help build up my channel subscriptions and try and get it to at least 4K, or if not 5K. It would be nice to get a lot more subscriptions and a lot more viewing, people viewing my channel. It would be very nice. So there you go, guys. I'm going to wrap this up here. I hope you enjoyed this video and listening to me waffle about the Radiation Ranger that I know very little of and just thought was a really cool looking figure. So there you go, and enjoy your day. Thanks very much for watching.